Some time ago, I made a video about the minimal mistreatment of every first eliminated queen from seasons 2, 3, and 4 from All Stars, based on the fact that Coco, Morgan, and Jasmine were all told last minute that they could not do their original ideas for the talent or variety show. After I did that video, I went over the 3 seasons and how they might have gone had the 3 queens mentioned been allowed to do what they had wanted to do originally. The only one that was interesting enough, or at least somewhat different, was the All Stars 2 season. So that's what this video is today. Before we begin, remember that we're talking about a season that came before All Stars 3, 4, and 5, which also aired after season 8. On All Stars 2, there were no low placements, so there were only 6 possible placements: eliminated, bottom 2 or 3, safe, high, top 2, and win. Next, we cannot change the amount of queens that are up for elimination per episode. In certain what if videos, like the one about All Stars 2 without the favoritism of Alaska, I did change that here and there, because it directly affected and helped a singular queen. The topic was what if the season had been fairer. Here, in this season, the favoritism of Alaska from the judges is still present, but to an acceptable amount. I say this because of the first episode primarily. So, the first episode is the talent show episode. The rating mini challenge is won by Alaska. Now, in this scenario, Coco gets to do Janet Jackson for her talent show performance, and if you think Coco is a good performer just based on her lip syncs on Drag Race, you need to look up her doing Janet. It's criminal how great she is. With this in mind, and I know that some might have a problem with this, honestly, Coco would have been in the top 2. This means that some queens have to be bumped down a spot. First, from the 3 safe queens, 1 needs to join Adore and Fifi in the bottom 3. Alyssa's talent was, variety? Listen, it's a valid talent, sure. She came out, she showed them that she was a great performer, very flashy, very charismatic, funny too, and she played it smart. Katya did something that quite literally none of the other contestants could do, at least not without any proper training for more than a month, with only Alyssa probably being the only one who could match her in what she did. Detox's talent was singing. Allegedly. Yeah, Detox is going in the bottom 3. From the 2 high queens, Ginger and Alaska, 1 has to be safe. Since this was a talent show and both of the queens' talents were singing, Alaska will have to be bumped down. It does not matter if you specifically were entertained more by Alaska's song, Ginger's singing is just better. She's a trained singer. For the press tour of All Stars 2, did they have Ginger or Alaska sing I Am What I Am? Yes, Ginger. It was Ginger. And lastly, we have to bump down one of the original top 2 into the high placement. This decision was made mostly for the shock factor of nobody expecting this queen to do well on a talent show. And the queen in question is Tatiana. Roxy, of course, gets a lot of praise and is high with Ginger. Now, Coco, of course, wins this lip sync. And who does she send home? We know that Coco is a very experienced queen, so probably very fair in her judging. But we also know that she was not holding shit back. Oh, at all. So she'd be a little tactical with her decision. Adore tells her that she does not see herself as someone who should be on All Stars 2, so to Coco, that's a weak contestant who will be an easy elimination in the future. Detox is her friend from season 5 and did kind of the best out of the 3, so Coco might get something from that, and if she eliminates her, she probably will get some poor reactions from Alaska and Roxy. Fifi is the easiest target. In Coco's eyes, probably she takes out the possible villain of the season, who is not aligned with anyone by default, based on the fact that she was the only season 4 queen. So yeah, through some 4D chess I just played with myself, I think Fifi gets taken out. Let's also immediately remove Adore 2 as she quits in episode 2. And speaking of episode 2, that's the Snatch Game episode. Now, I couldn't find whom Coco would have done for Snatch Game, nor could I really find any of her looks for the runways, so this is absolutely just speculation based on Coco's performance in season 5. On that season's Snatch Game, Coco was fine. She wasn't really funny, she was just Janet. We've seen Coco be funny, but I don't really think Snatch Game is her forte. Because Alaska and Katya and To an extent, Alyssa and Fifi originally were good. Anything below mediocrity was up for elimination. Detox is saved by her runway though, so she's safe alongside Ginger. The rest of the placements are kind of the same. I don't think Alaska would take out Coco from the competition, given her win in the first episode. Herstory of the World, or Baddest Bitches in Herstory, is the challenge in episode 3. There is a full track with all 10 parts that includes with the verses for Cleopatra, Joan of Arc, and Frida Kahlo, alongside the 7 that we heard in the episode, so we can guess which woman Coco would have portrayed. I assume that Adore's role was Frida, and that Tatiana's was Joan of Arc. Honestly, I really have no idea why I see Tatiana as Joan of Arc and Coco as Cleopatra, but either way, the 2 verses for these 2 parts were really good. Better than some of the ones that we heard in the episode. So whether Coco's role was Joan of Arc or Cleopatra, I think she would have had a good role. Pair that up with her incredible performing skills and the fact that the runway looks originally clearly did not carry any weight in determining the top 2, I think I have a strong argument in saying that Coco would have been up there in the top 2. For the storyline reasons and for the hilarity that was her Annie Oakley, Alyssa is in the top 2 with Coco. Detox is then high, with Alaska and Roxy being safe. Ginger and Katya are up for elimination. For the reasons previously mentioned, I think Coco would have picked Katya's lipstick, due to, for one, Coco's friendship with Ginger, and then also Katya is a stronger competitor on All Stars than Ginger, so a bigger threat. However, since Alyssa picked Ginger's lipstick, and in order to make a tie between the 2, I think they'd have Alyssa win. The lip sync between the 2 would be one of the best of all time, especially given that it's to Tell It To My Heart. Episode 4 is the acting challenge, where Alaska and Alyssa are obviously a pair, and as Katya kind of picked originally her partner for the challenge, she of course yet again goes for Detox, who accepts Katya as her partner, leaving Roxy and Coco as a third pair. I don't think that either Roxy or Coco would do as well as Fifi did in this challenge, so since Fifi's not here, Detox takes the top 2 spot in the losing effort to Alaska, because favoritism of Alaska, I don't like repeating myself. Katya in this scenario is safe though, leaving Alyssa, Coco, and Roxy as the bottom 3. Alaska, as she originally did, eliminates Alyssa. Episode 5 is the Returning Queens episode, to which Adore does not come back. As it happened originally, the most recently eliminated queen gets to pick her partner for the stand-up challenge first. Alyssa, of course, picks Alaska, Ginger, Katya. Tatiana, having to choose between Coco, Detox, and Roxy, picks Detox. Lastly, Fifi, being a smart queen, maybe a little too smart for her own good, as she had not seen the Queen's performances past episode 1, picks based on Roxy's and Fifi's performances on season 5. If you recall, Coco won the closest thing they had to a stand-up challenge, the roast, where Roxy was in the bottom 2. So, yeah, I believe Fifi would have picked Coco. I see the counter-argument of Coco having eliminated Fifi and Fifi being upset over that, but since Fifi went into All Stars 2 trying to create a storyline for herself, I think that in her mind, winning with a queen that sent her home would make for a great redemption story for her. I mean, of course, they don't win, and since the pairs are the same, the results are more or less the same. There is a double win between Alyssa and Tatiana, who will return to the competition. Katya is safe, and Coco and Roxy are up for elimination. Alyssa in this season would never eliminate Coco, so Roxy is eliminated by Alyssa. Tatiana, I think, also picks Roxy, firstly because she was in the top 2 with Coco in episode 1, and then also she was eliminated in episode 2. In her mind, maybe over Roxy. So yeah, Roxy is out. Episode 6 is the commercial thing episode. I'm glad Coco is here because, duh.
Animal by Coco.
Yeah, I think her performance would land her in the bottom 2 alongside Tatiana, with Detox and Alyssa as safe. Alaska wins the lip sync, as well as the mini challenge earlier in the episode, and eliminates Tatiana. I think that, originally, Katya would have picked Tati to stay, so let's say Coco's lipstick is the one Katya chose. Episode 7 is the Makeover episode. Coco, on season 5, went home on this challenge, so we know that she probably does not do well, making this episode's outcome pretty predictable, with Detox winning the top 2 lip sync. Firstly, Detox does not want to eliminate Alaska because they're friends, and because Alaska's done well up to this point. So it's between Alyssa and Coco. In sort of a poetic repetition, Coco, after reaching the top 5, gets sent home by Detox. And thus, we have a top 4 of Alyssa, Alaska, Detox, and Katya. These are the Queen's track records. And as you can see, Alaska still did the best. And yeah, she'll definitely be the winner of this season as well. However, I feel like this finale would be much more fun, what with Alyssa being there. Alyssa's verse in Reggie Rochu being probably just as bad as Roxy's, but maybe even more iconic than Roxy's. It's possible that we yet again get Alaska, Detox, and Katya lip-syncing in the last lip-sync of the season, but I think it's also plausible to assume that Alaska and Detox would be in the final lip-sync. And that's it. That's the video. As you could see, there weren't many changes to the season, and with All-Stars 3 and All-Stars 4, there would have been even less changes, especially with the first episode, which neither Morgan nor Jasmine would have won, I would assume. And regardless of the fact, thank you for watching,